So they were down to the last 10 minutes of the program, which now their main events are contract signings. But instead of John Cena versus whoever or The Rock coming out to do 10 minutes, they had Swerve Strickland and Hangnail Page for the 10-minute main event spot. And their contract signing for the pay-per-view match on Sunday. And that's why I wrote, are these shows all the same from every company? You can write down the 5 or 6 things. You know you're going to see a contract signing main event. Somebody's going to get jumped backstage. A piece of furniture is going to be broken. Whatever the And Hangnail came out at that point. I don't know if this was where were they? They were in Seattle for the pay-per-view. Where were they on this one? They were out west somewhere, Colorado.
That's right.
I don't know whether it would have been a Punk crowd or a Buckaroo crowd or whose crowd it was, but it wasn't Hangnail Page's crowd. They just sat there when he wandered out. And again, Swerve looks like somebody, and he can talk. And honestly, even in Colorado, which is not his hometown, the fans seemed a little bit more like they were behind Swerve than Hangnail. And
because Swerve's cool. What's cool about Hangman Page?
He looks like the guy who brings your pizza in a fucking beat up Opel Cornette. And so explain what? Well, I mean, it could be a brand new one. You still get your pizza, but he put on his dramatic voice, and once again, he has come up with, Page I'm talking about, a long-winded, dramatic promo with hidden meaning to talk about the black cloud that's been hanging over his head, mainly CM Punk, telling him he was a fucking empty-headed dipshit that never done anything in the business, and if he needed choked out, he'd be happy to oblige. And so now Page doesn't have to be scared anymore to come to work because Punk is gone, but he's trying to do the goddamn double meaning shoot promo, and he can't. He's not good enough with words. He can't do it. You end up not understanding either one. It's just vague references to shit that he never comes out and says. And if he's got a black cloud over his head that he couldn't get rid of, it's a ghost of Toots Mondt haunting him, as far as I'm concerned, because he is the most fucking feeble excuse for a top babyface that with his wishy-washy mush mouth, fucking flowery jeans and goddamn lawnmowers and friends in the dork order and the whole 9 yards. They have bungled this fucking guy since the start, and come to find out it wasn't against his will because he doesn't know what he's doing either. And so he tries to do the double meaning shoot promo to knock Punk so his friends will give him some attaboys. And at the end of it, Swerve says, that was the most pathetic thing I ever heard. And son of a gun, he was right. And then, but this dragged. They had 10 minutes on the air when the entrances started, and it was dragging after 6 minutes. And basically, the DVR froze on them on my programming while they were still talking. I don't know if violence occurred or not, but they had to be in the last 30 seconds of the fucking program.
I thought Swerve came out of this looking great, and the fans get more and more into him. The more he's used, the more over he gets, even though he's with a giant crew of guys who never win matches and everything else. He's over, and he's good. And him and Adam Page did not look like equals in this program.
No.
At all. He seems like someone on the way up, and Adam Page, like the Young Bucks. Exactly where he was, but everyone else has kind of moved a little bit past that.
Well, and we'll see it on the pay-per-view also. Half of, or at least some part of, every match looks like they let a fucking Make-A-Wish kid into it. There's, again, a bunch of people playing these parts like Adam Page in the mirror. That was a great promo to him. When he was doing it in his fucking bathroom mirror, it was profound as fuck. Because he's seeing somebody that knows what the fuck he's doing in his mirror. That's the problem with a lot of these guys. They can't look in a fucking mirror and see reality. They look in the mirror and see who they have deluded themselves into believing they are. For Wheeler Useless to be presented as a badass. For the fucking plumber to be presented as a fucking second coming of Hoist Gracie and George St. Pierre all rolled into one. For all of these various children to work like the goddamn road warriors. A lot of them have perception issues with what they look like. And they work a style of what they want to be rather than how you could ever possibly fucking accept them as. And therein lies a problem. Brian, you know what I've come to realize could save the entire pro wrestling industry?
No, what's that?
The Raycon wireless earbuds. Think about this. Those live segments on the air, instead of having an empty-headed dumb shit like Adam Page out there blathering on, he could wear a set of those and somebody who knows what they're doing could tell him what to say. And then everybody could have a set of the Raycon wireless earbuds in so they would actually go off the air on time because somebody could say, "We're out of time. We're going off the air. Get your shit in." Because the Raycon wireless earbuds connect you to whatever you want to hear or need to hear. You can play your own soundtrack in your head. You can forget about the outside world, or you can attune yourself to it as you see fit. What do you think, Brian? Are they going to save the wrestling business? Just make all these guys on the roster androids, automatons, zombie slaves even, and tell them every move to make through the Raycon wireless earbuds.
And of course, they have a noise-canceling feature, which right now would be very helpful because it turns out my contractor and his team are here and they've started drilling something somewhere in the house.
Well,
you hear that? Can you hear that?
Find out what's getting drilled from your wife down there. Unless she's the one getting drilled, in which case she probably won't want to tell you.
Oh my God, where is she?
Seems like the contractor always comes to your house whenever you're recording. But Brian, I'll tell you something else.
Suzanne, where are you?
Raycon
Sue?
is, speaking of anniversaries of wedded people, Raycon is celebrating an anniversary of their own. They're 6 years old. They're just about ready to enter grade school, Brian. And for their 6th anniversary, we are going to be able to save you money like never before. Can you remember the last time, if any time, that we were able, Brian, to save people up to 40% on anything?
No.
Well, we can now. Because with Raycon turning 6 years old, they have decided to do not only 20% off everything on the site, but select products, ones they've selected, up to 40%. And then you can select those, you're going to save almost half off, for heaven's sake. Just for a 6th anniversary. It's not even gold or silver or even paper mache. Imagine when they get 25 years old, they'll be paying you to take stuff. And the past year, they expanded the entire business. They introduced Raycon Home and Raycon Power Tech, and soon to come, Raycon Septic Pumping.
What's Power Tech?
I don't know, but it sounds powerful.
They don't do septic pumping. Let's just put that out there, too.
Well, then not yet. But you know, they're about to take over the world.
Not ever.
You can't predict that. If the right deal came along, they could diversify. And folks, once again, you need to diversify. Just because you already have the everyday earbuds with the 32-hour battery life and the perfect in-ear fit for all-day wear and lasting comfort, you might want something else, and everything's 20% off. Some things are 40% off. Get another set of the Raycons, and because Halloween is coming up, right? Halloween, the spooky time of the year, take and put these Raycons in your spouse's ears, and at night, just whisper 666 over the Raycons. They'll be hearing 666, 666. They'll wake up scared shitless.
Or
but
waking
it's their
up
6th anniversary.
Or they'll wake up wanting sex.
Well, that's only if you've got Kenny McIntosh's Scottish accent. Anyway, nevertheless, folks, right now, Celebrate Raycon turning 6 with the biggest sale of the year going on now. Go to buyraycon.com. BUYRAYCON.com/JCE and use the code BIRTHDAY. They say it's your birthday. Da-na-na-na-na-na. With the code BIRTHDAY, you're going to get 20 to 40% off site-wide. BuyRaycon.com/JCE. 20 to 40% off site-wide right now with the code BIRTHDAY. What about you there, birthday boy?
It's not my birthday.
Well, you could lie and get presents.
I don't like to lie to people. I don't need presents.
You know, really, I've lied all the time about I don't have a birthday every year.
Really?
I was born on leap year at the stroke of noon, so they couldn't decide morning, night, what time or what day. So I just have a birthday every 4 years. I'm really only 21. Or no, I'd be 16. I'm the third two saved. No, I'd be 11. Well, nevertheless. BuyRaycon.com/JCE, code BIRTHDAY. Now that that's over,